What's good, everyone? My name's JT Noah, and I'm bringing a new podcast to the platform of YouTube. My love for sports has grown tremendously over the years. I mean, I've loved sports my whole life, but once getting to college, where I am right now, I've just loved talking about sports. I've got a couple podcasts on campus for the school because I go to University of Central Missouri, but I don't have my own solidified podcast. And today, I start that journey of my own. Now, as you can tell, or as you can hear, I should say, my quality is not good on my speaking, but that's okay. I have ordered a mic, and it should be here in the upcoming weeks. It's a very high definition mic. It should be way better than what you're hearing right now. But first, before I get into what my podcast I'm going to be talking about today, I want to tell you who I am and what do I do. Well, my name is JT Noah. I am a 18-year-old. I am a freshman at the University of Central Missouri in Warrensburg, Missouri. I love sport. I was the football manager in high school. I couldn't play football due to concussions and other reasons. I watch baseball and basketball. And I just love to talk about it, express my feelings. And I just feel like there's a lot of, not to be mean or anything, but there's a lot of stupid people out there that think they know sports. And I can tell you one thing, I know a lot about sports. Now, I have a lot of people that know a person that goes to University of Central Missouri. His name is Noah Lamson. He does have a podcast. It's called The Stovetop. It's a great podcast. Go check him out. He has his on Spotify and other platforms for his podcast. But it's The Stovetop. Go check that out. So, what are we going to talk? What am I going to talk about today? Well, there's three things I'm going to talk about. The first one is the big news that happened 2 nights ago on Tuesday night, and that was Jalen Ramsey being traded to the Rams. That's huge news. And then I'm going to talk about how people accuse the referees of ruining the NFL. So let's get right into it with Jalen Ramsey and being traded to the Rams. So in the trade, the Jags received a first in the 2020 and a first in the 21 draft and a fourth in the 21 draft. That's a big haul for the Rams. Pretty sure it's going to be 3 straight years that the Rams will not have a first-round draft pick. And that's crazy to think. And everyone's like, oh, wow, the Rams are contenders now. Hold your horses, everyone. Let's be real. The Rams' biggest problem is on the offense. Jared Goff is not the Jared Goff he was last year. Todd Gurley's definitely not the Todd Gurley he's been in the past. And honestly, their offensive line is not looking so hot. And I don't know what's happened to Sean McVay. I don't know if he's still in his head that Bill Belichick outcoached him or something like that. But he needs to get his head out of the gutter, as we should say, because his team is not playing at the level they need to be playing at, or what they were supposed to be playing at this time. And coming into this year, everyone's like, Sean McVay's the best upcoming coach in the NFL. Right now, he's not even the best upcoming coach in his division. Kyle Shanahan, that man has put the 49ers on the world on notice. I mean, let's think about it. That front seven on their defense with Joey Bosa is phenomenal. I love what that defense is doing, and Richard Sherman's playing at a high level right now, and I didn't see that coming. And really, they're just playing on offense with Jimmy G, just not to lose the game for him. So that's going to work. Now, does Jalen Ramsey help the Jags out on defense? Yeah, their secondary wasn't that good, and that's crazy that I don't understand it. And everyone's going, oh my God, are the Rams selling at the trade deadline? Do they not think they're going? Because they traded Marcus Peters to the Ravens. And then, boom, Jalen Ramsey traded to the Rams for those draft picks. With the Jaguars, I mean, they got a pretty good haul. I think they got a lot of those 2 first-round picks are going to be great for them. And then that 4th, obviously. And so, I mean, the Jags got what they wanted if they were going to trade Jalen Ramsey. And I'll tell you something. That back injury of Jalen Ramsey's, man, that healed up real fast, didn't it? And my biggest thing for these Kansas City fans out here, they're like, I don't understand why the Chiefs didn't offer what the Rams did. It's not that big of a haul. Well, let's take this into consideration. The Chiefs call if they get Jalen Ramsey. They could have offered those 2 first rounds and a 4th round, and the Rams were like, yeah, I meant the Jags were like, nah, let's not do this. Let's not do this with the Chiefs. I think they wanted a NFC team if they were going to trade for him. Because I bet you multiple AFC teams contacted him, had the same offer, but they didn't want to give him up inside the conference, so they sent him away. And the Jags sent him as far away as they could in America. They sent him from Jacksonville to Los Angeles. That's across the map of America. So they sent him a pretty far ways away. They were not happy with him. So I give the Jags an A on the trade, and I give the Rams, I'll give them a C. I just don't think that was their biggest need. And like with the Chiefs, to me, their cornerbacks aren't the big problem. They got to get some linebackers. I think they need to trade for a nice linebacker. I'm surprised they haven't gone out and tried to get Shane Ray. Shane Ray's a pretty good player. So it'll be interesting. I still think the Chiefs are going to make some trades here and there, maybe smaller trades. We'll see what they do. Brett Veach needs to get something done with this defense, though. So we'll see. Moving on to these refs. Oh, these people on Twitter going nuts about these refs. And I have done some statistical research. And listen to these numbers, my friends. 2018, which was last year, there was a total of 3,569 total flags that counted. Okay? And then there was 4,207 total flags in general. So those are counting the ones that weren't offsetting or declined by a team. And so that was at the end of last year. All right. At this time this year right now, there's been 1,376 flags that have counted, and there's a total of 1,682 flags in total. So the ones that are not offsetting or declined by the teams. All right. So there's still a lot of weeks left in the game. There's actually there's 164 games left in this regular season. And I did my math, and I came up with the number would be 4,142 total flags at the end of the year if the pace the pace for flags was the same. Because right now, an average per game is 15 flags. That's how many flags are per game. And a team's averaging around 7.5 flags. And I don't know how you get a half a flag, but that's cool. Those are the ones that have counted. So if that pace keeps going on, we'll have 4,142 total flags at the end of the year. Those are the ones that are not declined, or those are the ones that are declined. They're just thrown. So those 4,142 total at the end of the year, if the numbers stay the same. And if I do my math right, which I'm not going to college for math, let's be real, I'm going for sports broadcasting, 4,207 total flags, which was last year's total, is bigger than 4,142, which would be the total of 2019 if the numbers stayed the same as they are right now. And I'm not saying they will, but I'm just saying 4,142 is lower than 4,207. And people are going, the refs are worse than last year. The refs are at a biddable. Now, I'm not here trying to cupcake or butterwalk these refs that's saying that they're good and all. I'm not saying that. They're humans. They're going to make mistakes. But we got to understand, I feel like everyone's watching these refs with their freaking binoculars now since of that call in the championship game last year in the NFC where the PI wasn't called. And so we just got to take a step back. These dudes are humans. We're getting the slow motion replays. We're getting these high definition replays. They're doing it at real time. Like, boom. Oh, that play happened? All right, that was a flag. Like, I know they're making some bad calls, but we gotta chill. Like, let's chill, guys. Let's be real. These refs are trying to do their job. They're making mistakes, yeah, but I mean, like, we're putting them at a high standard because of what happened last year, and you just can't do that. Now, on the flip side of that, my biggest problem with the referees right now is this PI challenging crap. So this was last week, and I hadn't done the research for it after this weekend. So after last weekend, but this was before last weekend. So there had been a failed of 20 out of the last 21 PI challenges have failed. Only one has been successful. That's crazy. Like, they're not willing to change the call on the field, it seems like. Like, there's been a couple times, and I'm a Chiefs fan, and there's been a couple times where the Chiefs have got away with a call that should have been called, and then they review it, and it's still a call. Like, the offensive pass interference on T.Y. Hilton on the Sunday night game in the fourth quarter was such a bad call on the refs, and they challenged it, and they still did not change it. There was no PI on T.Y. Hilton there, and I don't understand that. And then, as a whole, there have been only 7 reversed successful challenges on PI in 40 challenges. Holy crap! That is a whole few amount of challenges being reversed. That's crazy. I don't understand that. That's just abysmal. We've got to get that fixed. I don't think the referees are willing to change the call. They don't want to change if they made a mistake, and it's showing right now, and it's crazy. And then I feel like the calls they are making that are bad are on prime time. Like, listen to this. There was about 4 or 5 calls that went against the Lions on Monday night. And 2 of them were huge. And 2 of them were against one dude. His name is Trey Flowers. This man, going into that Monday night football game, had played in 50 games and had never been flagged for hands to the face. And then he was called for 2 hands to the face in the fourth quarter of the football game. One on a 3rd and 10, which led to a sack. Then they threw the flag after it and said he was hands to the face. And then another was 3rd and 4, I want to say. And Green Bay was in field goal range with like a minute 20 left. And Aaron Rodgers missed his throw, so they would have had a kick to field goal, and they would have went up 23-22 with a minute 15 left on the clock to give the Lions at least a chance to go down the field and score. And they threw another flag for hands to the face. When both of them, after looking at the replays, we got to see his hand was inside the shoulder pad and just pushing up on the dude's head, the dude's neck area, and the offensive lineman for Green Bay, he played it pretty well. And I mean, the referee probably didn't have the best angle, but you just, if you're not certain that it's hands to the face, you can't throw the flag there. You got to let it play out, and then you can take the criticism for not throwing the flag, because then at least you're giving them a chance. It was just a bad showing for that one referee. He threw the flag both times. And then another play that everyone's mentioning on the Lions Green Bay game was the possession before. There was a possession where Green Bay got the ball and they got down the field, and they lined up for a field goal, but when the snapper put his hands on the football, there was 12 men on the field for the Detroit Lions. So that's a flag, and it was a 4th and 4, so they got a first down. Then they went on to score a touchdown, Green Bay did. Well, on that next possession for the Detroit Lions, the Green Bay Packers had 13 men on the field, and they were able to call a timeout before they got penalized for it. And everyone's going crazy about it. But I think the rule for that flag is different when you are on special teams, because you can't run off the field once the long snapper puts his hands on the ball, while with the offense, they have enough time until the ball is snapped before they can get flagged for it. So Green Bay was smart enough to call the timeout and get the right amount of people back on the field, which is 11, obviously. So that's that. And the referees, I just don't know, man. The one, obviously, that I, as a Chiefs fan, saw was the Travis Kelce one, where they called pass interference, but then said Patrick Mahomes wasn't throwing it to him, so it can't be pass interference. So that was crazy. When I believe that was at least, if not pass interference, there was holding there at least, and then there was also illegal touching past 5 yards. So that was a very odd non-call after calling it, which I guess I could see them not calling it pass interference, but then again, you've got to call it at least something. it made no sense to me. So that was one of those iffy calls for me as a Chiefs fan. But I mean, like I said earlier, there's been calls that went for the Chiefs that should have not. And so, I mean, it's crazy. These referees are being held to way high of a standard right now. And I like what some people are saying on Get Up, which is on ESPN every weekday morning. They're saying that they should put a referee in the booth at all times. And then they have 20 seconds to see the replay like we do. Not in slow motion or anything, but like full time. And then they can say, hey, that wasn't a flag. You got to pick it up. Or if it was a flag and they didn't call it, you got to call it. So, I mean, there's some things the NFL can work on. I don't think they'll do it during the middle of the season, but they can work on it during the off season this year, which would be beneficial for everyone. All right, we're going to move on, and I'm going to make some picks. With my picks on this podcast, I'm going to make 5 picks. Ow! I'm going to make 5 picks. I'm going to do Thursday night. I'm going to do one Sunday at noon, one Sunday at 3, a Sunday night, and the Monday night. Well, Thursday night's tonight. Hopefully when you're listening to this, it's October 17, 2019 on a Thursday. The Chiefs head to Mile High to play the Denver Broncos. Yeah, this one's scary for me as a Chiefs fan. I think Philip Lindsay will run for at least 150, probably 170 yards, especially if they don't line up in the box with 7. So, I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm not trying to be biased, but I do believe the Chiefs will win this game. I'll put a score at 30-24 Chiefs win. Moving on to my noon o'clock. What am I saying? I'm going to go with this game, and I don't think people are going to watch it. I don't know if it'll be on TV for where I'm at. But the Raiders at Packers. Now, who do I think is going to win? I think the Packers are going to win. Let's be real. Raiders, let's see. They've won 2 straight. Let's give them credit there, boys. They've won 2 straight. They beat the Indianapolis Colts at Indy, and then they beat the Chicago Bears in London. Well, they beat Indianapolis the week before the Chiefs played them, and I think Indianapolis was looking ahead to playing the Chiefs. So I think the Raiders were overlooked in that game, and the Raiders came out swinging, and they won that game. Then they went to London and played the Bears. The Bears, who had Chase Daniels in. And going into that game, I thought Chase Daniels was going to be better than what he was. And I honestly thought maybe since Mitchell Trubisky got injured, Chase Daniels could show up, and they may put him as the new starting quarterback even when Mitchell Trubisky comes back healthy. That was not the case. Chase Daniels did not look good in London. And the one thing the Raiders did was they kept Khalil Mack quiet during the whole game. And so they did good there, and they've won 2 straight. Then the Packers, on the other hand, they're 5-1. And they just came off that win on Monday night when Crosby hit the game-winning field goal after that controversial call. But I like the Packers. I like Aaron Rodgers a lot. I think Aaron Rodgers will do what Patrick Mahomes did to the Raiders. Not necessarily in the second quarter, but you get the gist. I think Aaron Rodgers will have a great game. And I think the Packers win that game 34-17. I like that score. 34-17 Green Bay over Oakland. And my 3 o'clock game, I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks Baltimore Ravens at Seattle Seahawks. And this game's going to be good. For all you Ravens fans, I don't think Marcus Peters will play that much this game just because he just got traded on Tuesday to him. He probably doesn't know the scheme very well. It's going to be 53. It's supposed to be a little rain, it shows, and the line is 3.5. I like Seattle in this game. Russell Wilson right now is probably the MVP favorite. If it's in my books, I think Russell Wilson's right ahead of Patrick Mahomes. So Russell Wilson's playing at a phenomenal level. That man is going to be fun. Him and Lamar going back and forth. The Ravens defense lost Tony Jefferson a couple weeks ago. That could be big. I don't know what about Seattle I like about them. It may be because they're home, or it may be just because Russell Wilson is playing phenomenal, and Tyler Lockett has been playing pretty well the last couple weeks. I'll take Seattle in a low-scoring 20-17 score there. I like that, 20-17. Then the Sunday night game. Eagles head to Dallas. Oh, boy. Dallas has lost 3 in a row, including to the 0-4 Jets. Yikes. So, let's see here. Philly had just lost. They got destroyed. And I mean, they got destroyed. I don't care what you people say. They got obliterated by Stephon Diggs. I know their secondary is bad. I thought they were going to actually get Jalen Ramsey, if I'm being straight up with y'all. But I don't trust Dallas. I think Philadelphia is the better team here all around. The Dallas defense has looked sus at the last 3 games especially. Dak Prescott's finally came back to earth, and now he won't get that millions he wanted. I like the Eagles a lot in this game, and I think they show up and they show out on Sunday Night Football. 38-24 Philadelphia. Monday Night Football this week is the Patriots at the Jets. How many easy games will the Patriots get? Well, hold on. Hold your horses, fellas. I'm laying it out on the line right now. You're going to think I'm crazy, but I just have this feeling Sam Darnold and his mono that he got over 2 weeks ago, and he looked great against Dallas. And yes, I just said Dallas's defense has looked sussed, and the Patriots defense is the best defense in the league. I get that. But they have Le'Veon Bell. They have Sam Darnold. I wish C.J. Mosley was playing this game, but he's not. The line is too big in my opinion, first off. It's a 10-point swing for the Patriots. I don't like that. I want to say the Jets. They're at home. The Jets are at home. I just can't do it. I can't do it. The score is going to be 20-17. Patriots win. I just want to say Jets, but I can't. I'm taking Tom Brady and the Patriots to win this game. And I think the Jets will keep it close throughout the whole game. And, yeah, it's going to suck. 20-17, Patriots win. Patriots' offense is not good. Let's be real. The defense is carrying this team. So I have the Patriots winning 20-17 over the 1-4 Jets. All right. And to conclude this podcast, this is for my listeners out there. I don't have a name for my podcast yet. I want you guys to decide on a name for this podcast. I want this to be an audience-friendly podcast. I don't want to make the name. You guys can pick the name. It'll be more out there and cooler, in my opinion, that you guys get to pick it. And so that would be... And also, I need a logo, like something cool. I don't know if there's any artists out there, but that would be really cool if I could maybe have someone make a logo for me. But yeah, you guys can decide this podcast name for me and also the logo. My schedule, hopefully, for this podcast is going to be on Tuesdays, because then I can review the NFL games that I picked and go over the whole NFL in general that day. And then on Thursdays, like today, go over some other things like what I did with Jalen Ramsey and the referees, and then I did some picks. So I think Tuesdays and Thursdays I'll do. If you guys want me to do other sports, just tell me. I can do baseball, I can do basketball once NBA starts. I can do even college football and college basketball. I can do any sport, man. I love all sports, so that's cool. But until next time, I'm out. Peace.